Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to do my Bleach 1000 Year Blood War review, episode 7, English dub. So, episode starts off with we see like a flashback where technically the head of the Soul Reapers there um was showing like some type of like a story thing where all he was slaughtering Quincy's there. All the Quincy's were getting fucking slaughtered there and stuff like that. And mostly he has like a flame bonkai thing that might mostly be the old man's bonkai there, or the head Soul Reaper's bonkai there. So he was generally slaying them and stuff like that for it. When that was going on with that stuff, we see we go into the thing there where technically this kid was like looking at it there, and technically he got busted by the head captain there, and he was actually saying why you're doing there, why you're looking at that painting there. That's what he was saying there. He's like, what is this type of painting there and stuff like that. And he said, well, technically it's a painting there. It's really mostly minds him. He doesn't really want to explain what the painting was there and stuff like that, but he was actually saying it's mostly something death related or so. And he doesn't really want to get in mind of it to it there, and that's what he was actually fucking saying there and stuff. So we go into the present day there. The Quincy boss there took down uh, the old man there, and he said, "You're totally worthless now," and stuff like that. And he was actually saying, he's like, "You need aid there with Ichigo there," and he was actually saying something about, he's like, "You made Ichigo as a thing there," and we all know Ichigo is mostly a human there, not a Soul Reaper. That's what he was actually saying to him and stuff. We will say that Ichigo is part Soul Reaper. He's not full Soul Reaper there. So he technically was going to walk away, and he grabs him and stuff like that. Even he said, he's like, also in death, you can still move around and stuff like that. That's what he was saying to him. He's like, what is the point there and stuff like that for it? And he said, it's over, I won there and stuff, and that's what he was saying. And Ichigo technically busts out the prison there, and mostly he said, mostly we see Ichigo seeing the Soul Society getting slaughtered there, and he was trying to bust out the prison. He finally busts out of the prison there. The one of the Soul Reaper guys, he's like, save us all and stuff like that. And he goes down, and then he's like, and then this Quincy's there. He's like, who the hell are you? And stuff like that. And then mostly Ichigo just fucking knocked that motherfucker out there and stuff like that. So he flies over to one of the Soul Reapers there, and mostly the Soul Reaper guy was saying something about he needs to protect the Soul Society there. That he was like the last chance there to actually protect the Soul Society there, and stuff like that. The head boss Quincy noticed Ichigo got out of that prison there and stuff like that. He's like, oh, he's out and stuff like that. What we're gonna do with him? Kill him and stuff like that. That's what they were saying to him. He's like, no, let's let him come and they can fight me and stuff like that. So technically, Ichigo technically fucking arrives to the Quincy boss there, and he's like, you are the one that did this there. He's like, you're the one that slaughtered the Soul Society there, stuff like that. And then he's like, yes there. And he's like, the Quincy boss is like, yes, I'm the one that slaughtered him. And he's like, and then Ichigo's like, you bastard. And so he fucking mostly attacks him there, and mostly Ichigo attacks him. Mostly they're like technically going banging off each other there. Mostly with the red and blue type of flashing strobes there. Was going pretty fast there. When they were doing that there, so he was kind of he hits him on the ground there and stuff like that. And he said you're mostly technically worthless there and stuff like that. And then we'll see he hits him there again. He does his Tenshai Uchi, I think that's what it was called. So he does his attack there, and mostly caught the Quincy boss by surprise there. And then he's like, what? You're gonna do that there? So he hits him, and technically the Quincy boss hits Ichigo there. Mostly revealing he has blue veins there. So mostly revealing he has blue veins there and stuff like that. And he's like, oh crap, and stuff like that. So he was explaining what Ichigo was technically is and stuff like that. And he's like, huh, you're part of that also there. And then he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's what Ichigo was actually saying. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And stuff like that. And that's what he was saying to the thing there. He was saying something about his mother there. Mostly what happened to her and stuff, and mostly Ichigo didn't even know what the fuck is going on there and stuff like that. So fucking Ichigo fucking attacks him again there, and then mostly he's like trying to fend that off there and stuff like that. And mostly pins Ichigo on the ground. And he's like, well, it doesn't really matter. He's like, even with your blue veins, he's like, I can still end you and stuff like that. So he's ready to attack him there. And mostly, I guess their time ran out. The Quincy's time ran out and stuff like that. They're like, oh, the Quincy's. They're like, oh, our time ran out and stuff like that. And then mostly was actually saying something about that there, saying, oh, the time ran out. So he's like, already? The time actually ran out and stuff? That's what he was saying there. He's like, yes, there. And he kind of noticed it was Levi there. Levi honestly shortened up the time there for them. And he's like, that bastard Levi shortened up our time there and stuff. And he didn't say nothing about it. He's like, well, technically, and stuff like that. And they're about to go. Ichigo said, he's like, what you did to the Soul Society, I'm not going to forgive you and stuff. So technically, Ichigo darts right at the Quincy bots there, and mostly his assistants there fucking breaks his sword there. He technically breaks his sword there, and mostly breaks his sword there, and then mostly we see his sword, mostly Ichigo's sword actually hitting the ground there and stuff like that. And he told him there, he's like, well, recover your injuries and we will fight again. That's what he said there to Ichigo, and that's where the episode ends there. So yep, that's where the episode ends. So yep, comment, rate, response to its bros. We like working bros. Please subscribe. Hit the bell notification when it's uploads. Comment, response to its bros. I carry out and peace.